Netflix's most expensive film ever, The Gray Man, is a complete and utter disaster. The Gray Man stars Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Anna de Armas, Jessica Henwick, Dinush, and Billy Bob Thornton, just to name a few of the main cast members. To start this off, I wanted to talk about some things that I liked in the film. As I said before, $200 million budget, Netflix's most expensive film ever. It was directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. Joe Russo, Christopher Marcus, and Stephen McFeely, the same people that made Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They wrote the screenplay, and the movie is based on a book. The movie starts off in 2003, and Ryan Gosling's character is in jail. His code name in the movie is Sierra 6. So if you hear me say 6, I'm referring to Ryan Gosling's character. One of the things that kind of bothered me a little bit about the movie, which I know I was going to talk about stuff that I liked, but I'm going to bring this up, is it takes place in 2003, and as far as I could tell, they did not de-age Ryan Gosling for the movie, and he did not look like this in 2003. He looked a lot different in 2003, and I think that Netflix should have spent just maybe a little bit, or Joe and Anthony Russo should have just spent a little bit of the budget de-aging him for these sequences where it's 2003, because he looks. Ryan Gosling's not the youngest guy in the world now, you know. The movie is supposed to take place in the present day. Donald Fitzroy, Billy Bob Thornton's character, comes to Ryan Gosling and tells him that they need him. One of the things that I really, really liked in this movie, and also really, really didn't like at certain parts, is visually the movie is either really, really stunning, or it's just, it looks not good at all. It looks really bad. There are some sequences, some shots, some scenes that just are below par, in my opinion. In the very first fight scene, the very opening of the movie, there's this pretty cool fight scene between Ryan Gosling and some other characters. Ryan Gosling's trying to kill this guy, and they get into a hand-to-hand combat. And there's all this colored smoke and stuff, and it looks really cool. I think it's really well done. But then later in the film, not too much later, probably like 40, maybe 30, 40 minutes after this first fight scene with all the colored smoke and stuff, they do it again. So they do it again, and then throughout a lot of this movie, there's just all of this smoke whenever there's an action sequence or a fight scene or whatever you want to call them. And at first it's enjoyable, but it's just they overdo it way too much with that. So visually, that's really bothersome for me, because I just feel like they're recycling the same trope over and over. So I said before that the cast in this movie works really well and tangent with each other, but not entirely. There's one actor. I don't know if it's the actor himself or it's just the really weak script, because the script is just god awful, terrible, terrible, terrible script. But Regé Jean Page's character, the main baddie in the movie, he's referred to as Carmichael. That's his name. He's like this big CIA. He's like the CIA boss that like does a bunch of bad shit. And the whole plot of the movie is Six. He's this super assassin, he's John Wick, basically. This guy's John Wick, and he works for the CIA, and CIA baddie Carmichael, Ryan Gosling has to go and kill this other bad guy to get a flash drive. It's hidden in a necklace, though. It's a little flash drive that apparently has all of this bad stuff that Carmichael supposedly has done. He's supposed to be this big bad guy, but they don't really tell us. They kind of show us what it is, and they make him out to be an asshole. There's another female agent that helps out Ryan Gosling's character that works directly under him, and he's a total asshole to her. But you don't really get this sense of him being this big baddie. It's like I said, it's probably the script, it's not the actor, but you just don't buy it. You don't think he's scary or bad, and you're not really afraid of him. You don't really care, what happens to him. I'm trying to say that they didn't do enough character building, because they didn't do it at all. Obviously he's the bad guy, you want to see him lose, but compared to Chris Evans' character, it doesn't really matter. It's a big letdown. So, as I said before, there's not really a whole lot of backstory given for any of the characters except for the main character. And other than just pretty much some very brief backstory on why he's actually in prison at the beginning of the movie, there's just really not a whole lot to go off of on a lot of these characters. There's one character in the movie who sacrifices themselves so Ryan Gosling can get away and do what he needs to do. But the problem with the sacrifice is you're not emotionally connected to the character at all in any way, shape, or form. And it's like, oh yeah, that was a nice gesture, but it's like, does that matter? Did it really matter if that character died? Maybe, but if it doesn't, the movie doesn't make it seem that way. Another thing that I actually really did like in this film was the child actress. Her name is Julia Butters. She plays Billy Bob Thornton's niece. And oddly enough, I feel like the most chemistry between any of the characters best exemplified when Ryan Gosling is interacting with this little girl, because she's a really good actress in my opinion. And Ryan Gosling's character, they make a joke about it in the movie. He's kind of robotic. He's really stoic and kind of reserved. He doesn't really talk a whole lot. And when he's interacting with this little girl, you can tell that they're putting heart into the scenes. You can tell that there's actual real chemistry there. Even working with the weak script, it's entertaining to see them, talk to each other. He has to do things that he doesn't want the little girl to see. So he's like, you should go to bed because bad guys are going to show up. He has to kill the bad guys. And then they have this little dynamic going. The best parts of the film are Ryan Gosling and this little girl interacting. And really, the film comes down to him getting this thing, and then also he has to try and save this little girl from the bad people. Another thing that kind of really bothers me is, I said this before, they kind of try and go a John Wick route, but also, like I said, I haven't read the book, but Six gets messed the fuck up in this movie. I mean, he gets shot multiple times. He gets stabbed. He gets a hole stabbed through him. He gets stabbed again. He gets stabbed another time. He gets stabbed again. He gets stabbed one more time. He gets shot again. He gets stabbed again. He takes so much punishment, and the only time he's out for the movie is when he gets shot with a tranquilizer. That's one of the only times he's down. The amount of punishment he takes, they don't make it seem realistic. In the very end of the movie, this character comes up and just shoots him in the leg for no reason, like shoots him in like the upper thigh or like the knee area, and it's just like, what? It doesn't make sense. He should be dead. This guy should be dead at the end of the movie. The Russos came out. They said that they want to adapt more of these books because it's not just one book. It's based off a series of books. They want to make more of these adaptations, these movies. And I don't think it's going to work. Critics did not like the film at all. It's got really good audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes, but overall, I feel like it's just not that great. They definitely could have done a lot more with the resources that they had access to. I feel like a lot of it's lazy. The script is absolutely terrible. I can't believe how bad that is. And overall, it's just a big, big, big mess.
Hey, if you like that video, then hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button because there's a ton more content just like the video you just watched, and also a lot of other really fun, great content that I'm going to be putting on this channel. So if you liked it, subscribe, stick around for more awesome content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.